What's up, guys? It's Will, and today I'm gonna be telling you guys how much I made doing Uber and DoorDash last week. My first video on this channel was me talking about how I quit my job, and I didn't know what was next, and in the meantime, I was gonna be Ubering and DoorDashing and trying to make as much money doing that as possible. And I had a pretty good week. There were some days where, I had to stay out long for sure. There were some days where it was harder, but I was able to make my goal, which was 1,000. I think my goal every week is just to make $1,000, which is like 143 a day. So it's not too crazy if you are willing to stay out, certain days. Not every day you got to stay out super long, but there might be a day where it's a little bit slower and you gotta wait it out or something. But I was able to make my goal. I'm gonna put to the side how much I made with both apps, and then my total was $1,013.49. So, it's not the easiest thing in the world to, like I said, to make the money you need all the time, because there's some days where it is slow. Uber and DoorDash are messing you over with the trips they're sending you. But there's something gratifying about just going out there and making the money that you need to make by yourself, and not really having anyone telling you, but you being disciplined enough to do it. There is something gratifying to that, and it is a nice feeling when you do hit your goal, because it's like, oh well, I did it this week, why can't I do it again next week and the week after that? So it was nice. And I think if anybody is watching this video and wants to give Uber and DoorDash a try, definitely make sure you have a good car, but also just be willing to be disciplined and stay out, and be hard-headed on your goal. Basically, like, don't allow yourself to not reach your goal. Like, just like I said, discipline is a big thing with this, because while there's a lot of freedom in doing Uber and DoorDash, that freedom can sometimes be a detriment to what you're trying to accomplish, and I didn't allow that to be the case. But I don't know if it's gonna be my long-term thing. I don't know. I'm just taking it day by day. But it was nice to do it last week and be able to make the money I was able to make. I've always been doing Uber and DoorDash, but it was a part-time thing for me, so this was different. But it worked out pretty well. And I think I hope I find some other people on here that I can kind of grow close with and build connections with, because they do the same thing as me. But yeah, it's just nice to be able to work when you want, and kind of have your own schedule in place, and not have to be doing something you don't want to do. I definitely still had some regret over leaving my job, for sure. I don't, like I said, it was a good paying job. I think anytime you leave a good paying job, or you're gonna have some regret. It's just natural, because you don't never know if you're gonna ever make that type of money again at another job. And so it was something that definitely went through my head some days. But I think once I got to the end of the week and I saw that I made the money I made, I was happy. And I spent about 140 in gas. I put 20 in my tank every day, and that usually gets me through the day. And I turn my car off when I'm waiting, so I don't waste gas that way. And then obviously the trips I take are where the amount of money I'm getting is more than the miles I'm putting on the car. So you just have to be smart with it. And I think I was, and I like doing it. It's not perfect, like I said. I don't want to make anyone think Uber's just peaches and roses and everything's gonna be fine and everything's perfect all the time. Like, you have to be willing to be disciplined and work hard if you're gonna make it work. And some days might require you to stay out 9-10 hours to hit that goal of yours, if it's slow. And I think also the times a day, I think that's something I could probably work on. There was days last week where I would come out at a time that wasn't super busy and just be waiting, and that might have contributed to the amount of time I was working. But it's not like a regular job, because you're in your car chilling. You could be on your phone, you could take a break whenever you want. So at the end of the day, there's still like a lot of freedom in it. So you know, I hope you know, other people see this, and you know, it kind of inspires them to, if you don't feel like, you know, a job or something, or something right now in your life isn't going right for you, and you feel like you need time to yourself, or you need more flexibility in your life, this would be a good option for you. Just be smart, double app, you know, and be disciplined, for sure. But I'm gonna be making more videos on here. I just wanted to make another video because I haven't made one, and I felt like this would be a good video to do. So yeah, hopefully I, you know, reach some people with this one, and hopefully you guys stick around. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.